All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Turner.
Commissioner Meeks.
Brad.
Commissioner Eichmeyer.
Here.
Commissioner Zimmerman.
Here.
Commissioner Metter.
Here. The approval of minutes of the meeting held on June 12th, 2023. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Okay.
Roll call, Mr. Turner.
Commissioner Meeks.
Yes.
Commissioner Eichmeyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Metter.
Yes.
Commissioner Zimmerman.
Yes.
Any visitors this evening? Oh, yes, go ahead.
I noticed the intersection of Fifth and Locust. It's a four-way intersection. There's no stop sign either way. That's a kind of an odd thing, I would think. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but, and
Yeah, it's always been that way, I believe.
Yeah, we have multiple intersections that don't have full stop sign.
okay, I just thought it was odd. What is do you have a list of your sidewalk projects that you're going to do this year?
No, well, this year, we have our list that we put out, like our 32, and there may be some on there, but it's forever changing, because like for this week, we didn't have some sidewalk repair that was for the 200 block of Market Street, but due to the sense of urgency, we had to add that on, but to say that we have a particular list, we don't typically keep a running list, because frankly, we'd have a lot of sidewalks on there. But some of them we address as they come up, or we look at on a regular basis. So if you have one that's particular that you'd like for us to look at, just let us know. We'll go look at it that way.
Good. Tell you here, or
You
you
can tell me after this meeting, or call up tomorrow and get a hold of me.
We'll do it, that's fine.
If it's on Walnut Street?
No.
Okay. Okay. Getting ready to say Walnut's a state route, and so
No.
they do have a 10-year plan on those, but anyway.
That's fine, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? We've been advertising bids for the demolition of a home at 423 West 3rd Street here in Mount.
923.
Huh?
923.
Sorry. 923. And we got two bids. First one is Perry Salvage. Tear down the house, haul off the debris, then bring in dirt and level land off for $9,500. Second bid is from Jeff Guys White Incorporated. Demo house, haul to appropriate landfill. Let's see, a bid amount $6,100. So, you want to take action this evening, or do we want to?
Did that include filling in the stuff?
I would assume it would. It doesn't specifically say that, but that's normally
Yes,
how it would be
is.
done, because it is
Yes.
a basement in it, so.
Okay.
He talked to us actually at the beginning of all this, so,
Okay.
and he asked, so that's what we came up with.
So we're comparing apples to
But-
apples.
Yes, but here's the other thing, is we do have to take action on it, because it was one of the properties that we received under the guidelines that we had immediately take it down, because it's a hazard, so.
Okay,
So then I would entertain a motion.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
That would
To
be
accept.
for Jeff Guys White Incorporated for $6,100. So, we got a first, we got a second, roll call, Mr. Turner.
Commissioner Meeks.
Yes.
Commissioner Eichmeyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Metter.
Yes.
Commissioner Zimmerman.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the meeting. This is the Mount Carmel's Fantastic Four celebration beginning, starting on Thursday. We will be having the Fantastic Fish Fry at the Wabash County Senior Center. I think this will be the 10th year that Dave Easter and myself have been frying, and the fourth year for Commissioner Eichmeyer joining us.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna be in
All
town.
right.
So, I'll be-
Anyway.
Maybe for part of it.
All right, always, darn, I was trying to get some help. Trying to
I
work
didn't
that
realize it
rotary
was that day, I
way.
missed that.
When is it?
Thursday.
This coming?
Yes.
I might be able to help.
All right, if you're able to help, you have fish frying experience.
Do I get to sample it, or is that just strictly fish, like frying?
We'll see.
It's part of the.
I've heard that before. Compensation.
Anyway, there'll be a free swim at the city pool, sponsored by Boba's Pizza and First Bank from 12:30 to 5. And then on Friday, there's another free swim, sponsored by AOK Network and Wabash County Health Department. Saturday is the big event. Commissioner Zimmerman and Captain Seaton and Chief McWilliams and I have all been working on, and a few others. Touch a Truck. Touch a Truck has turned into a very large event. Very excited for this. We're doing this in conjunction with Shop with the Cop, Shop with the Firefighter. We'll be having a cookout out there to help raise funds for Shop with the Cop, Shop with the Firefighter. I want to thank everybody who has agreed to bring out their unique vehicles and everybody for the sponsorships that we have received. Have some raffle items that we're going to have also, so, some really neat stuff that they're gonna be raffling off. So this is an event nobody wants to miss, so we look forward to seeing everybody up there. Then on Saturday from 1 to 5, again, there's another free swim sponsored by Keep Us Funeral Home. And then up at Merchants Park, starting at 7:30, the Steel Company, which is Sean Storkman and, Tim Ribley and John, I can't think of his last name. Decker, yeah. I almost said Porter, but I knew that wasn't right. So anyway, they're bands, so they were up there last year, had a good draw, so look forward to seeing that. Then on July 2nd, myself and Commissioner Zimmerman will be slaving away at Rotary Corn Day. Always a great event. And then back at Merchants Park at 7 to 8 is the Community Prayer Rally. That is Sunday. Tuesday, 10 a.m., July 4th Parade. Lineup is at 10th and Market Street, no entry fee. Gary Arnold says if you want to be in the parade, just show up. So that's wonderful. 10:30, there's a free cookout at the First Baptist Church after the parade. Hot dogs, chips, cookies, and drinks. 12:30 to 5, another free swim sponsored by the city of Mount Carmel. And then at 9 p.m., the fireworks over the Wabash River. We're going with the same setup as we had last year, using the Junior League football parking lot, and then over on 4th Street, the grass area for parking there. We do ask people, spoke with Dr. Blyer today with District 348. He, they got a lot of stuff going on down there. They really don't want people in the area. There are some dangers with what they're doing, and so they would, we would ask, they would ask that everybody use the other facilities to view the fireworks this year. Maybe next year we can get back up on the stadium, but for safety's sake, this year we'll just keep what we did last year. So anyway, fireworks should be a little bit longer this year. Primarily, in the past, we've done a few 8-inch mortars. This year, we're having more 6-inch than we are 8. So it will space out the show it just a little bit longer. So that is my report. I think I will skip down and go ahead under new business. I've got a letter here from the Mount Carmel Public Library. Want to thank Bill Easton for his time he has spent on the library board. He had been there for a long time, and they would like for us to appoint Ashley Bishop Cushman to fill his open position that William Easton has opened. So I will need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, Mr. Turner.
Commissioner Weeks?
Yes.
Commissioner Eichmeyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Nutter?
Yes.
Commissioner Zimmerman?
Yes.
the two that they wanted to reappoint for additional terms?
No, I do not.
Okay. That will be. Oh, yeah, here it is, sorry. Glasses would be great. Not today. So they also were recommending Patricia Youngs and Nancy Price to be reappointed to the board for another term to office. I'll need a motion for those two.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second? All right, roll call, Mr. Turner.
Commissioner Meeks?
Yes.
Commissioner Eichmeyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Metter?
Yes.
Commissioner Zimmerman?
Yes.
All right, Commissioner Metter.
Thank you, Mayor. Past couple weeks, cut down a tree at the golf course, started work at the health department on the sidewalks, painted the roadway lines at Park Road and College Drive. And then after that, we just had a bunch of maintenance on equipment as well as properties and just trying to keep up with that. So, end of my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Metter. Commissioner Eichmeyer.
Thank you, Mayor. The past 2 weeks, receipts of $118,021.64 and expenditures of $132,823.40 bring us to just a little over $3.4 million in our general fund. Majority of the money that came in was state income tax of $79,000 and state use tax of $25,000, and the rest was just miscellaneous. And that is the end of my report.
On a positive note, starting July 1st, we should be getting just a little bit more monies back from the state, so on the state replacement tax, so that'll
It was
be
pretty good
nice.
last year, too.
Yeah, it didn't go up too much, about 0.75%, but still, we'll take every penny we can get. So, Commissioner Meeks.
Thank you, Mayor. Wastewater cleaned and re-oiled the storm bypass tank. Pumped out and cleaned 1 and 2 primary clarifiers. Did the normal mowing, maintenance around the yard. The water department had some tests in the EPA. They messed up the samples. We reissued the samples. Water's good and clean due to dry weather. Water consumption is way up. And the use of multiple wells during the day has been much more frequent. Installed new chlorine pump at the city pool. Water maintenance had 8 locates, used a jet truck at several locations. Assisted the street department in pouring concrete at the health department. And backwashed and refilled the city pool. Into my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Meeks. Commissioner Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor. The fire department in the last couple of weeks has had 6 calls. A couple of those were actual fires, somebody's shed. There's also part of a tree and a fence. So be very careful if you are burning brush or anything like that around any structures. Especially like today, it's really windy. That will, fire moves. They also had training on ventilation with metal roofs and how to ventilate differently with a metal roof than you have to with regular shingles. And they will be participating in some of the, like next week, the 4th of July parade. Our garbage, the brush truck was down for a short time, so they weren't able to utilize or get everything on the route. They are back on route. And so, if they don't get to you right away, sometimes it's maybe you put it out after they've already been through on that day of your route. But if it's out there for longer than a week, just let us know and we will address that. Also, if you have issues with your garbage, please let us know. Call City Hall, and don't forget that we do have recycling on Fridays, Saturdays, and Mondays down at the Brush Harbor. And our mosquito spraying is continuing. We haven't done any actual or needed to do any actual here in the last couple of weeks because of the lack of rain. So hopefully we will be getting some rain shortly. Into my report.
On the brush, we actually have an ordinance against burning brush in town unless it's in a fire pit, so.
Correct.
They shouldn't be burning it at all, so.
Correct.
Correct, Chief Smith?
Yes.
So, I know we've had a few, people out burning and stuff like that, and especially with the, lack of rain we've had lately.
Seems like it's a common thing.
Yeah,
People pile brush and somehow it ignites or whatever, so.
I know,
That happens a lot.
combustion.
Have they come up with any red flags yet on this no burn deal?
Not yet, I haven't heard of any.
I wonder what it takes.
It's probably getting close, I'd
Yeah.
say.
It's gotta be good.
I heard you was gonna do a rain dance Saturday. There was a chance of rain, I think, last time I seen you.
Everything we
The mayor
had
is?
planned, yes.
Some, one of you guys.
I think the mayor was going to.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the fire department was polishing those trucks up to bring up there Saturday, so they knew, you know,
Good way to get rain.
it was gonna rain. But anyway,
It's usually what it takes.
yeah, it is, so. Thank you, Commissioner Zimmerman. Mr. Turner?
All right, we're gonna remove, or need to remove, ordinance 2093. We were unable to get all the legal, descriptions of the property that would be affected by the business district. So we're gonna hold that off. Hopefully we can have that done in 2 weeks. We're working with Moran on that. They'll actually help develop the ordinance. The other thing I'll bring up on trash, because someone called today, and it's like every week, people will call and say that their trash wasn't picked up. Well, the trash company has cameras on all their trucks, and when they sent it to us, it was because a vehicle was parked in front of both trash cans. Well, that's why it didn't get picked up. So just be mindful. I think Commissioner Zimmerman just addressed this less than 2 weeks ago or this month, and we're at it again. Update on the Oak Meadows subdivision. Landscaper house came over, looked at the property. We've met with some of the residents out there. We don't have a complete plan moving forward, but we're at least talking and looking into how we can beautify that area. With that said, Faulkner Automotive, I've been working with them. They took out the trees on the north side of their business. We looked at some drainage. We own some of the water that runs through there. We have a fire hydrant. It is a low ground. It has trouble with drainage. Faulkner's is asking that we help take care of their drainage issue, but it also affects us. Ultimately, it's on our property. With that said, Guys White submitted a bid for $5,000. That would run the drainage all the way from part of the Faulkner's onto ours to drain into the creek. If you guys are good with that, I'll tell Guys White to go ahead, and it'll be coming out of the TIF funding to take care of that drainage issue. So do you guys have any questions?
It needs to be done, so.
Yeah.
Well, if it doesn't, it's just the water will pond there. So, I mean, it's really something we don't have to vote on that. It's just keeping you guys aware. With that, that's all I have into my report.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Mr. McCullough?
Thank you, Mayor. At the last meeting, you had asked me to look into the transfer, I think, the property on Market Street.
Yes.
And I looked into that, and I believe you guys were wanting to see if you could basically give it away or donate it. And the law's pretty clear. There are very limited circumstances in which you can do that. And I don't think this one applies. It applies mainly in situations where you got a building that's basically a liability to the city. Under those circumstances, you can, and there's some case law on it. So it's very limited. And I looked under the TIF, and you can do it with creating certain requirements under the TIF as long as it complies with your ultimate plan there. But as far as just giving it to someone or not putting it out for bid, that's that is prohibited, and you need to put it out for bid. Now, you can put restrictions on it under the TIF, but as far as just giving any portion of the property away, I don't think you can legally in this circumstance. Other than that, I have nothing further to report.
All right. Thank you, Mr. McCullough. Mr. Pennington?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As for this month, I have nothing new to report. Barring any questions, that's all I have for the month.
Have you got any interesting planes out there or anything else? Any MiGs lately?
No MiGs lately.
Nothing? Okay. Chief McWilliams?
Business is still staying steady. Peak summer months, I guess, but outside of that, just for your information, the ordinance you passed on the gas motorized bicycles, electric bikes, we've issued 14 permits since that's went into effect. All of them have been e-bikes. We have not had one gas-powered bike brought up for even to get inspected. That has drastically reduced the amount of complaints we were receiving from residents to almost nil. Biggest issue is they don't have proper mufflers, which is really why we get most of the complaints other than non-compliance with traffic signs. So that has essentially taken care of the issue we had, so I think that was a good move. Outside of that, I'm just prepping up for 4th of July, between the fireworks parade and the Touch a Truck event. Got all hands on deck for the next week and a half. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Chief McLeod. Chief Speth.
With 4th of July next week, we'll start off with recreational burns. As dry as it is, be very careful, even though just putting water on it don't mean that the fire's out. There could be ambers that flies up when you put water out and carry over to dead grass and stuff. So use extreme caution. On fireworks, please do not point them at somebody or their property when you fire them off. Do not use the Chinese lanterns, which is similar to a hot air balloon, which has a fuel cell. You start the fire and it heats up and it raises. They do have fuel in them, so whenever they set down and they're not completely burned up, they seem to catch things on fire. So those are not good in the state of Illinois, so they're outlawed. So if it continues dry, we may have another department bring a brush truck in just in case for the fireworks. Or we may even have to go down and water down around where they're gonna light them off at, to just be precautionary. So we're looking at a couple options there, see what we do to help out there. So I just make sure everybody uses extreme caution next Tuesday. So other than that, that's in my report, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Victim. Oh, I know, I remembered you today. You sat in front row.
The week of July 11th, just a heads up, we're doing the chip and seal program. Got several streets where I'm getting with Mr. Dallas tomorrow and Thursday, and going over and making sure the maps are all up to date, and we'll get those out to the news media before then, into my report.
Right. Need a motion for consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Turner.
Commissioner Meeks?
Yes.
Commissioner Eichmeyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Metter?
Yes.
Commissioner Zimmerman?
Yes.
Doesn't fall under business?
Yep.
All right. I need a motion to enter into executive session for the consideration of a certain topic. Executive session pursuant to Section 2C1 of the Opening Meetings Act. The appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Susan has an initial.
Okay.
I'll second this.
All right. Roll call, Mr. Turner.
Commissioner Meeks?
Yes.
Commissioner Eichmeyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Metter?
Yes.
Commissioner Zimmerman?
Yes.
Sorry,
It's okay.
not great at multitasking.
It's all right. It's okay.
I'm asking that only Chief McWilliams and Chief Speth can stay in the room for the meeting.
In accordance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act, the city council may enter into